Nagabenta ki khubor baman kasni pet but subscribe ya u Antor News.
Iingdorbar thoan kajala kalakantai ya amendment motion jong ka Voice of People Party WPP bratarwa ban khampan bunsi ya Iingdorbar sunrai balabu da ka Business Advisory Committee ya ka amendment motion la kantai de Iingdorbar thoan ong lampang Iingdorbar Thomas Isama hadin ka jing yobut ya ka motion haswa ban bu ya ka motion sya ka jing yobut ulampang ula kular ya udukhat Iingdorbar thoan uba adalbat nongrum u MLA Shillong North ba ula ban pynjlan ya kapor lar donkam but uti ulampang Iingdorbar thoan ula ai jungkular baladami ka jungkam kin pynjlan ya kapor om kisngi song Dorbar wat apdeng jingkat pat ulampang banweng no ya commission now MLA ka WPP u ba adalbat nongrum ulong burom ka jingkat pat ka jongpi handre ngan omweng satya ya katai ka amendment motion habang ra ya katai motion ba adalbat ulong ba kijingbu tang sansingi ya Iingdorbar pat ai tang arsi banyak keren ya kikam ki MLA simet kapor balengkot palat Iingdorbar ban ai ya kajing lehok sya ki bobun kikam bongsan jongjala ki bodangkam ban hap banyak keren kerki apok Iingdorbar thoan kaba hadu tang arsi na ka sistem hab jubab ya kan sembut menteri rangba wadi kami parliamentary affair ba prestun tensong ulaong ba BSc kaladap ya keren bat keren banyak ba sata
I am to inform you that I have received a notice from Sri Adalbert Nongrum MLA dated 21st August 2024 for amendment to the motion for allocation of time proposed by Business Advisory Committee under Rule 231 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business, which reads as follows. To the Commissioner and Secretary, Meghalaya Legislative Assembly, Shillong. Subject, notice under Rule 231 for the motion of amendment to the allocation of timetable proposed by Business Advisory Committee. Dear Dr. Andrew, I am to submit this notice under Rule 231 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business of my desire to move a motion of amendment to the allocation of timetable proposed by Business Advisory Committee for the forthcoming autumn session of the Meghalaya Legislative Assembly. The motion that I am putting forward is the allocation of 5 working days with only 2 days for private members' business is too short a time for the state legislature to do justice to the many pressing issues concerning the state that require the attention of this august house, which meets only twice a year. I seek to move the aforesaid motion on the first day of the session so that the report of allocation of timetable may be referred back to the Business Advisory Committee for consideration on the concerns and recommendations raised by participating members at the House discussion. Signed, Adalbert Nongrum. I have examined the amendment motion and I would like to inform the House that the Rule 231 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business provides that an amendment can be moved to the motion moved by the Deputy Chief Minister in charge, Parliamentary Affairs. You may initiate discussion and try to be brief and specific. Mr. Adalbert Nongrum, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for allowing me under Rule 231 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business to move this motion of amendment to the allocation of time table proposed by Business Advisory Committee. To start, may I kindly point out that this current sitting of the Assembly is being labelled in the official Assembly calendar as autumn session. However, for me, and perhaps many others too, I'm quite certain that this present wet monsoon, much month of rain, is a little too early for autumn season. That apart, Mr. Speaker, sir, this is not the first time that I have raised an objection to the absolutely short numbers of days allocated for assembly session. And I can already presume that my request for the report on allocation of time table to be referred back to the Business Advisory Committee will not be entertained by the Minister in charge, Parliamentary Affairs. So to cut short and come straight to the point, which can be practically considered, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to recall what you had said in earlier session in this very august house about your valuable experience as a member of parliament, where you narrated how House sitting in parliament would continue to late in the evening so as to finish the entire business of the day. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, through you, I wish to seek the cooperation of the Minister in charge, Parliamentary Affairs, that, in keeping with the values of parliamentary democracy, the government of the day will be considerate of the many pressing issues concerning the state that require the urgent attention of this august house. And the various items of business which have been listed to be taken up, particularly private members' business, will not be cut short by the bell, but instead be granted ample time to be extended even beyond the regular hour. Mr. Speaker, sir, another point that I want to raise is that as members of the legislature, when we are submitting notice to the Assembly Secretariat informing of our intention to move either short duration discussion or calling attention motion, we are promptly informed by Assembly Secretariat that there are already enough number of submissions received and that no further submission can be considered by the Assembly Secretariat as a timetable of the session is packed. Mr. Speaker, sir, this is what I mean when I said at the start that the number of days allocated for this autumn session is absolutely too short. Because it is really not our fault as members of the legislature that we offer too many notice for short duration discussion or calling attention motion that cannot fit within the timetable proposed by Business Advisory Committee. Hence, here again, I propose a possible solution that the convention and practice of listing only one item of calling attention motion and one item of short duration discussion in the business of the day be relaxed. As I have gone through the rules of procedure and conduct of business, and I find that there is no restriction specified in Rule 51 on the numbers of short duration discussion that can be taken up in a day, and even in the case of calling attention motion under Rules 54. The specified restriction of one item is if there are more than one submission relating to the same matter. Mr. Speaker, sir, here I humbly request for a generous interpretation of the rules from your esteemed authority. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to draw your attention to the practice of 0 hour being followed in the House of Parliament. Through video coverage, we have seen how when the Honorable Lok Sabha MP from Shillong raised a 0 hour, there were other MPs who did so before him at the same sitting and other MPs after him as well. In this context, I again refer to the rules of procedure and conduct of business in Meghalaya Legislative Assembly, and I find that there is no restriction specified in Rules 49A on the number of 0 hour that can be raised in a day. Mr. Speaker, sir, I earnestly hope that my few and humbly suggestion to allow for more item of business to be taken up in a day by this august house merits your consideration, your kind consideration. And with the same sincerity I once again emphasize that the allocation of 5 working days with only 2 days for private members' business is not enough. It's too short a time for the state legislature to do justice to the many pressing issues concerning the state that require the urgent attention of this August House, which meets only twice a year. Mr. Speaker, sir, I fear that limiting this current assembly session to only a few days is really like curtailing the voice of the people. And by what? And by that, I don't mean just the voice of the party that I proudly represent, but the voice of the people of our representative constituency who have plenty of expectation from us, their elected representative, and from this August House for their many issues and concerns to be raised and heard. With these very few words, Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank you once again for allowing me to move this motion of amendment to the allocation of time table proposed by the Business Advisory Committee. Thank you. With this submission, I resume my seat.
Anybody wanting to participate? Minister in charge to reply.
Mr. Speaker, sir, the day when the BSC sat under your chairmanship, sir, we have already discussed all the details about all these issues. And if we recollect again, last year autumn session, we also had the same allotted calendar, which ultimately comes to 5 working days. And number 2, that day in the BSC, sir, I think I've already expressed, because from the government side, we need only 3 days. On the basis of that, we said that, okay, for the private members, let us have 2 days. And in addition to that, by convention, what we have already decided that day also, sir, in case if need be, 1 or 2 hours or 3 hours in a day, it can be extended. Sitting can be extended. So accordingly, sir, we proposed and we passed in the BSC, and ultimately now I would request the House to adopt this proposal, and we'll go ahead. And maybe in the next BSC again, we will sit down, we'll discuss how to go about it. But for the autumn session, as already discussed in the BSC, sir, I would request that the House do approve the proposal, sir.
So, may I know the mind of the mover, whether he will withdraw his amendment motion?
Okay.
We have heard from the honourable member his request for extension of the days of the sitting of the House and the reply of the Honourable Parliamentary Affairs Minister. So in this case, should a necessity arise where we feel, and the Honourable Speaker also feels, that the days have to be extended, then perhaps that cannot be done by the voice of the House. You may have to again call the BSC to decide whether the days can be extended, sir, should the situation arise. So I would like to place this on record for your advice, sir. Thank you.
Okay, I will examine that matter. So, may I know the mind of the mover, please? Whether he will withdraw his amendment motion?
Honorable Mr. Speaker, sir, as you would like to know my mind, whether I will draw this motion or not. Sir, would respect you and all honorable members. Since honorable member from North Mai, Charles Peng Group, had expressed the need. This is not the one, in fact. It is the need, it is the required. it is a required of time. It is, therefore, I demand, not only request through your respected chair. So why? Because this is happening every now, like in the past, and also as well now. So it is a great loss for the state as a whole. Because this is the only platform to discuss and to raise many issues. Therefore, sir, I would like to get, I would like to get from you the assurances from you.
No, you have already expressed your mind. Now, please tell the House that whether you wish to withdraw.
Honorable Parliamentary Secretary, Parliamentary Affairs, who had expressed that if needed, it may extend to 2-3 hours. But my personal view, for the betterment of all, let it be extended. If needed, it may be to midnight also. There will be no problem, because you yourself, you had expressed in the last session that even in the Parliament, if needed, it raise not just 2-3 hours. This will not be enough, sir. Therefore, I place this demand before you.
Yes,
I would like to get a first assurance from you.
No. There will be no assurance. Sorry.
One more clarification, sir. Sir, in fact, yes, I rightly agree to the honorable mover who has just mentioned, because I already replied, and then even in the BAC, very clearly we said, if need be in any particular day, under your authority, sir, you can always extend. Yes, if need be, maybe up to midnight or midday again or whatever, we are ready for that, sir. So therefore, question of extending the days, as of now, I personally feel that we should not, and let us approve the House. I would request the honourable members of this August House, let us approve the allocation proposal made by the BAC, sir.
Yes. No, I will extend the debating hours if the need requires. I will extend the hours. As already explained by the Honourable Minister for Parliamentary Affairs in charge, to extend the days, the BAC will have to sit again. But I'm not going into that. I just want to know the mind of the mover, whether he will wish to withdraw his amendment motion or he will not. Because I'm giving my assurance from the thing that if the need arises, I will extend the times. Not the days, but the time, hours will be extended if the need arises.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, sir, since we had an opportunity to discuss, so we have heard one another, and moreover, maybe if it not required in days to extend, because it will be impossible. But this will be the lesson for the coming session. I really request the BSC that this will be a lesson for the future. How to allot the calendar, the time calendar. Sir, okay, if that is the case, I would really like to hear from you. Not only 2-3 hours. It will not be enough, sir. For you, as being a speaker, for others who are in the tertiary bench, is enough. They may just be hurried. They may take things in a hurried way. Like we as a opposition, we clearly express that it is not enough. So therefore, I will not withdraw. I would like to see action, not only words, sir. Because I believe in action, not words.
So you will not withdraw?
Yeah, I will not withdraw, sir.
Time for discussing is, Minister has already replied now. Okay.
Mr. Speaker, sir, just one submission.
Okay, briefly, please.
It'll be in the fitness of things for the interest of this August House and inconsistent with the proposed amendment by the Honourable Member from Shillong North, that there has been some deviation over the years in respect of utilization of time in as far as within the allocated time and as approved by the BAC and the House. Particularly in respect of the Rule 49A of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business. I think these need to be corrected because So far, we are allowed to take up only one item under this rule 49A. I remember as I entered this August House in 1993, we had the privilege of being able to move more than one. So this, I don't recollect as to when we deviated from this practice, but we need to correct it. And as you are aware, Mr. Speaker, sir, this is the same practice which is followed in the Parliament. So this part, at least as far as the provision under the Rule 49A of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business, this need to be appropriately utilized. And please make it, let this be a space for the members to further use it effectively to take up issues of urgent and grave public interest issues.
Yeah. But I feel that we have to restrict the number of 0-hour, call attention, short durations, as there are many other business to be taken up. Unlike in Parliament, the sitting of our house is restricted only up to 2 p.m. and 12 noon on Fridays. This is the practice and convention in the Meghalaya Legislative Assembly since its inception. But however, I have, in the previous sittings of this August House, I have extended the time even up to 6 o'clock, and if required, maybe even more. So, please, Honourable Member, once again I ask you whether you wish to withdraw or not.
I respect your request for me whether to withdraw or not. Sir, I told you, this is not, I'm not just yesterday in this August House. I have seen, seeing is believing. So because of that, actions speak more louder than words. I will not withdraw, I will see first the action. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Since the mover of the amendment motion is not willing to withdraw his amendment, I will now put the question before the House. The question is that the amendment moved by the mover, Sri Adelbert Nongrum MLA, be adopted. Those who are in favor say aye. Those against say no. The noes have it, and the amendment is rejected by the House.